Have you ever wondered how to make a steering wheel cover? Trying to, make your car look a little cuter? Well, you might want to look somewhere else because this is not a tutorial, but I am trying to attempt to make my own with whatever I can find at my apartment. So mind you, I am not a professional at many things or anything. So I hope you just enjoy this journey of crafting with me because I just like creating things. So basically, I saw a really cute DIY steering wheel cover on Etsy, and I found this in my closet that I forgot I had, and I was like, okay, I can totally work with this. I wanted to get rid of this fluffy white fabric because it got dirty really quickly and it was kind of nasty. So I ended up using a seam ripper to kind of remove it from this rubber base. And let me tell you, that sped up everything. And here's a little time-lapse video for all of you because time-lapses are so fun. But it was really satisfying to use this thing. And this was only the beginning of this very long, very tedious journey of me trying to make something. I mean, I pretty much had no direction. I didn't really know how I wanted this to look, so I was kind of weighing it. By the way, this was super satisfying. I love this part. It's like those pimple popping videos, except, it's not gross. But anyway, like I was saying, if this video seems a little messy and I'm all over the place with where I'm going with this journey, and I wanted to keep it as realistic as possible. Sometimes when I do creative projects, I kind of just wing it and I see how it goes and then I change my mind a lot, but I figure that's how other people do things, right? It's not just me. Oy. Anyway, so here I took off that fabric and I wanted to cut it up so I can measure the dimensions and kind of build off of that. So I cut it in half here to see the length and the width of this original fabric. I also didn't realize that I needed to take the thickness of this fabric into consideration, so I ended up with a lot more fabric than I needed because I was using old shirts. But that's fine, it's fine. We figured it out in the end and it worked out just great. And instead of buying fabric for this random project that I wanted to do, I ended up using old shirts that I didn't need. And, I figured, hey, I should just cut it up, zhuzh it up. And if it looks horrible, oh, well, it's just old shirts. So I had to really do a good job here because my supervisor is watching and she's pretty unforgiving. See that right there? What did I even do? Look at that nasty tuna breath mouthwork right there. Also, I know some of these clips of me cutting the fabric over and over again is unnecessary, but come on, look at how well these scissors work. They're beautiful, they're amazing. My goodness. Now here's another shot. Oh my god. All right, enough cutting footage, right? Okay, let's move on. So the next step in this process is psych, more cutting. All right, seriously, I wanted to add a little bit more to the fabric because I thought plain black was boring. So I wanted to decide, hey, maybe I should make patches of other stuff on there. But for context here, I had a bunch of pieces of the shirt fabric that I needed to sew together to form that long length. So I decided, you know what? Let's kill two birds with one stone. I'm going to practice my French seams while I stitch these fabrics together. And, not bad for my first try. Like, I'm going to be honest, I cooked here. Like, undeniably scrumptious, no crumbs. Look at that. You know, my fingers say it all. I'm happy. I'm a happy possum. Like, look here. This is the, you know, the first attempt on this side, and that looks like garbage. God, that looks horrible. So I was pretty proud of myself. I nailed it by the third try. When I see this little montage of me attaching this fabric patches to the main shirt fabric, the phrase that comes to mind is, you know, trust the process. Really trust the process. You know, I mean, I like when projects look ugly sometimes, if you get what I'm saying. Like, you know, the stitching, for example. It's wonky, it's horrible, but it's kind of charming in a way, you know? Or I'm just saying that as a cope, but who's to say? Who's to say? The point is I believe in myself. So I really feel like Frankenstein at this moment, you know? I got my monster fabric parts sewed together, but I decided, why not take this a step further and put in more effort for a mediocre outcome? I mean, that is what DIY truly is, right? So let's bleach it up. So I looked up some YouTube videos because I've never bleached before with paint brushes. But essentially I did a 50-50 bleach ratio, 50 water, 50 bleach, and then I did 100% bleach. So the first fabric there didn't really bleach through, and I didn't know that there's some fabric that don't freaking bleach, but this one worked amazing. Look at that. I did wear a mask when I did this, and I was painting on my balcony, and there were no cats nearby because, you know, they're little baby lungs, and my little baby lungs. I was trying to not burn some brain cells. But look at that. I mean, it ended up looking pretty good for my first time painting with bleach. It's pretty fun. These look like painted eyes, right? So anyways, I was kind of going for like a creepy look, so I did eyeballs and eyes with cobwebs and spider webs and whatever, and just weird stuff. I also made this stencil and then made a curly whirly design, and it looked pretty good. And overall, proud of myself. I mean, not bad. On the area that I didn't bleach, I added this lace fabric, and then I added some bows onto it, but don't get attached because I ended up not liking it in the end and taking them off anyway, so bye-bye! I sewed everything up together, so I made this little loop thingy-majiggy, mabobby, matubi thing. And then I attached that to the rubber base that I showed you earlier, and then started sewing it using this red and pink thread. I'm gonna be honest, I did not enjoy this part of the process. It was not fun. And it took a while. It was tedious. My thumb hurt. My other thumb hurt. It was just not a good time. It wasn't. So I attached it to my car. Get it? Get it? Get it? Get it?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Well, the supervisor didn't like it much, but, you know, I was pretty happy with it. This was the one side that I sewed, and I turned it around, and the other side wasn't done, and I was pissed, so I ended up throwing it away because it looked horrible, and I just couldn't show you guys. It's too embarrassing. Just kidding. Here's the grand reveal. I hope you like it. I actually ended up liking it. I took off the bows and I replaced it with these fake flowers, and then I put safety pins on it, which, you know, might not be a good idea if not a good idea if, you know, the airbags need to deploy, right? But you don't have to worry about that when your steering wheel looks so cute. Like, look at that. Actually, I'm really happy with how it turned out. This design kind of reminds me of Sally from The Nightmare Before Christmas, and I think it just looks really cute. Thank you for watching me finish this project, and I hope to see you in other project videos, and I hope this inspired you to start a project or do something even though you know it won't end up being perfect. Okay, I'm done talking. Bye!